Мінекеңіз, мынаумен түсіре беріңізші. Түсіріп қойдым бұны. Минуты жүріп тұр ма? Минуты жүріп тұр ма, анау қызым?
Жүріп тұр.
Сипырлар жүріп тұр ма?
Жүріп тұр.
Сізде не жағдайды, соны сұрап жатыр. This is my brother. Қашан ұсталды?
2018.
The 22 February of 2018. Қай жерде ұсталды? The Jiangsu County of Ili Kazakh Autonomous Prefecture arrested by Chinese officials. Сосын?
Дәл қазірге дейін хабар ошар жоқ.
No. After then, no any information from him, and we don't know if he dead or never.
Why, and what about the other two persons?
Мына екі адам кім?
Тезден туған әкем күйеу екеуі.
This is my brother-in-law, my sister's husband. I have two sisters in China, and this is their husbands.
Әке шешесі кәрі бұлардың орнынан тұрамай. Мынау Еркінжан Тоқтар Қожа ұлы.
His name is Erkinjan Tokhtar Koja.
Дәулетқан Мұңғылжан ұлы.
Дәулетқан Мұңғылжан. Мынау?
Жұмажан Құдайберген ұлы. Текес ауданында.
Мына this is living at Tekes County of Ili Kazakh Autonomous Prefecture.
Мына екеуі Мұңғыр ағаланың өзіне.
This two person is in Jiangsu County of Ili Kazakh Autonomous Prefecture.
Бірде бір кездестірмеген бұлар. Алып кетті деген белгіні естіді, мен дәл қазірге шейін хабарласа алмаймын олар.
And after they arrested her, no any our family members visited him. They forbid interview with them or meet with them.
Бір кезде шешем ауырып ауруханада жатыр деген. Қамбасынан шығып алпысқа келді шешем.
And I heard one news that my mother is already get ill after the arrest. My mother had so many bad ill.
Бұлардың балалары кішкентай, оларды кім асырап жатыр білмейміз.
And all of them, they have a little babies, and we don't know who take care of them. We lost connection.
Where is the mother?
Шешең қайда? Бұлардың әйелдері қайда?
Бұлардың әйелдерінде сол үйренуге апарып, әкеліп сөйтеді екен.
And I get news.
Үйлеріне бір Қытай кірген.
And I get news every of them, their family, they located one Han Chinese to their family. One Han male Chinese. Arrested these men, put these men to the Chinese jail. After then, look, every family, they put one Han Chinese. Do you?
No, I don't understand.
One family, they have a woman and the man.
Yeah.
And the man arrested.
Yeah.
And in this, every family, the only keeping the woman.
The woman, okay.
Yeah. But the Chinese government put every family one Han Chinese male government worker. Put every family.
Okay.
As husband. Or as the people controller. Or as watchman. Watch every kind of, every minute, every second to watch this woman, what they are doing, praying or not praying, say something, or every day. This Han Chinese watches them and living with them, eat with them in one house.
So the women left over in the houses, and the Chinese government decided to put one control person into the house of a Kazakh or Uyghur or whatever. Yeah.
They arrest all of the men. And the women living in house, but they will arrange every family one Han male Chinese.
Okay. Why? How did she come here? And why did she leave China and not stay there to try to visit them?
Сен осы жаққа қалай келдің, және сен осы Қытайға барып бұларды көру туралы ойың болмады ма дейді.
Мен бұл жаққа өзімнің отбасымменен той жасаған жерімнен көшіп келдім.
after I married and my family immigrated from China to Kazakhstan I immigrated with my husband.
Келгеннен кейін екі рет қана бардым, одан кейін бара алмай қалдым мен.
After I immigrated to Kazakhstan, I visited China only 2 times.
Бұлар мына екеуі Қазақстанға бір рет келгендігі үшін сотталды.
These two person, they arrested because of they visited Kazakhstan 1 times and sentenced.
Найсыны 5 уақыт намаз оқыды деп бұл кісіні 4 жылға соттаған.
They arrested him and sentenced him for 4 years because he prayed.
4
Prayed
жылға
as
сот
Islamic.
болды. Әлі шығарған жоқ.
And the 4-year sentence time is now finished, but they never release him up.
So, is there anybody here who has been to a camp?
The people who detained or released from the camp, they just come, just driving.
Okay, they
Yeah,
were.
I called it.
Okay.
I called it 10-15 minutes ago, and he just driving
Okay.
because he living outside of the city.
Бұлардың өлі дұрыс екенін ұқпаймын. Сіздерден өтінерім.
With
Бұлардың денсаулығынан алаңбай, менің бірге туған бауырым, менің әкем қайтыс болып кеткен кішігімізде. Мен олардан айырылуыма болмайды.
I don't know if they live or dead, and we don't get any kind of information of them. And this is only my family member. My father died when I am a little child, and this man is my family member, and I don't know if they are live or dead, and how they living inside.
So that means here we have female. She has how many?
17 person in one family, in one
17 person
in one big family.
Who are in the camps now?
The 17 of them are in camp. All of the documents here. Бұра бәрі, алып сұмайын. Қазір ретмейді.
Маған октябрьдің 5 күні кісіден сәлем шықты, арыз жазбасын, арыз жазсам, қинайын қысам деп біздің сұрақ қысап кетті. Полиция біздің
The local police sent one information to me in the 5th October in this month, and they requested if this lady continues to that kind of video application or write something to the foreign media, they will arrest all of the family. And the Chinese officials sent one message through via second person to this lady that they will torture all of their family if this woman non-stop.
So if she continues talking to the media?
And the Chinese police asked this lady stop talking with the media. In the 5th October, the 5th October in this month.
How did they ask her to, or threatened her?
Сені қалай қорқытқанда бұл хабарды қалай жеткізді, кімнен жеткізді?
Елдер кісілер арқылы жеткізді,
We
содан
are other person. Not Chinese police directly tell her, so we are another person. Туыстарын атын ғой, е?
туыстарыма соның
Related. We are her relative.
твиттеріма жазады. Бүткілдің бәрін семьямен бірақ кіріп кетсе, сонда Шинжаң тыныш қалады, сендердің бәрін жазыстаған толтырып.
And in his Twitter account, so many Chinese, you know the Chinese, Chinese police, they can use Twitter, but another people in China, they can't use Twitter. But all of this Twitter write that, they said, maybe all of your family arrested, and maybe all of your families tortured and intimidated, maybe you will stop.
Менің твиттерімде әкемнің жұмысы өздеріне не айтылған болған.
And the Chinese local, the Chinese police in that re-education camp, they set up that Twitter program in there and every day watch my Twitter.
So, did she run away from? Did she run away from China, or does she also live in Kazakhstan?
Сен Қытайға бардың ба, осы мәселе бойынша тек Қазақстанда ма?
Қазақстан маған айтады, келін жерге бітірді. Мен айтамын, мен бармаймын, Еуропаға бармасам Қытайға бармаймын деп.
The Chinese officers asked her for come back China, and she refused. She said she will continue her application, that kind of talking with media to Europe, but she said she never going to China. Because everybody is scared going to China. They will arrest them with any excuse. Everybody knows all of the, and we have one fact about Mrs. Gauhar. Her relatives already get Kazakhstan citizenship and kidnapped by Chinese police in Kazakhstan territory. So everybody is scared. They never go China.
Okay. What about how many relatives are in Punjab?
Sizde qancha tuqqanlaringiz?
Hakim.
Turmada mi?
Yo'q, neде жатыр deydi. Uyda yo'qamoq deydi, сол.
Yo'qamoqda.
Dokumentini alib aldı. Bir жыл Әкемді көрмей.
He's my father. Chinese officers confiscated my father's all documents, and
Картин салдығы шыға келді.
he is very bad ill, and
Аяқ кетеді.
he can't work. He's, no any relatives in China. They forbid him going back to Kazakhstan. Confiscated all documents 1 year, and forbid him only living in his house, just like changed his house to the jail for himself.
So, how can are there any other relatives left who can get in contact with them?
Sen әкеңмен қалай хабарласасың?
Мечетпен сөйлесіп.
Ара тұра.
Иә, көп хабарласпам қорқады. Денсаулығы жоқ. Әкемнің аяғы сынып кеткен.
We talk with my father via WeChat, but my father every time asked me not saying so much on WeChat. He afraid from officials.
Аяғым емдейді дейді. Аяғым емдейді десе 3 миллион ақша сұрап жатыр Қытайдан.
3 миллион?
Иә, 3 миллион ақша сұрап жатыр.
And the Chinese officials
Оған қаражатым жоқ.
Chinese officials ask us if you want to give him on the food, the medical service, it is needed 3 million Chinese yuan. But we haven't that kind of money. And бұл 3 миллионды докторхана емес, үкімет сұрап тұр ма?
Енді жаңа операция істеймін деген ғой. Сіздер несі сынық болғаннан кейін дұрыс түйетілмей жатыр деп, иә, 3 миллион сұрап жатыр. Оған қайтып осында келсе бірдемесі болады, өтірім туысқандары деп ешкіміз жоқ.
Балалардың бәрі осында.
Бәріміз осындамыз.
Қанша баласында?
2 қыз, 1 ұлымыз.
My father have 2 daughters and 1 son. All of the 2 daughters, 1 son is now living at Kazakhstan. My father now living at China without no any relation.
Документіне ақсайда болса да барады, ай сайын күнде барсыз
Every day, every month, my father going to the Chinese officials and ask them give back the documents, but they refuse every time.
Okay. Just to yeah. Just for me to understand. So.
And this person, Gauhar Tatakins?
No.
No, just one. Just one.
Don't. Please, no. Stay there, please. No. Okay. No.
He's a local woman. She's a local woman. She's a local woman, not immigrated from China. And her relatives, one Kazakh, immigrated from China, arrested in Kazakhstan territory by Chinese officials.
Okay.
Kidnapping.
Why?
Не үшін?
белгісіз айтпайды.
We don't know. They never answer us.
11 ай болады уже.
Already 11 years passed. Already 11 years passed.
Қазақстанның мұндай документі бар.
His Kazakhstan passport. Already get Kazakhstan passport and Kazakhstan ID card. Name is Askar, family name is Azatbek.
Азатбек.
Askar Azatbek. And when he going to the border between Kazakhstan and China, the Chinese officials in uniform kidnapped her.
Ұрлап кетіп отыр деп түсіндім.
Kidnapped them
Машинаға зорлап салып алып.
and put him push him to the car and drive to China in border. They have one free economic zone between China and Kazakhstan. One free economic zone. Half belongs to Kazakhstan, half belongs to China. They arrested Mr. Askar Azatbek in that territory belongs to Kazakhstan.
How about the others? Are they afraid that there will be a kidnapping by Chinese here in Kazakhstan again?
Басқаларды осы Аскар Азатбек сияқты Қытайдың полициясы жағынан ұрдалып кетуден қорқасыздар ма дейді.
Әрине қорқамыз. Мен өзім Қазақстан азаматы болсам бара алмаймын, қорқамын жаққа баруға.
She said, of course, my relatives arrested by Chinese officials and I am the original Kazakhstan citizen and born at Kazakhstan, but I'm afraid of going to China and ask about the questions about my detained relatives.
Бұл деген екі үкіметтің ортасында үлкен қылмыс болып саналады.
And this is a big crime in two countries, but no Chinese officials answered back.
What do you accuse China of?
One big country and they just went to ethnic cleaning and cleaning the Kazakhs. They just went to punish every Kazakhs and scare them, living in this terror, horrible feeling to the Chinese Communist Party and forbid them going to Kazakhstan or immigrating to Kazakhstan, lost any kind of connection between the Kazakhs who living at Kazakhstan and living at China. The Chinese office just went to cut the connection between the two Kazakhs.
But it's like we also talk about the Uyghurs and we talk about the camps. So what is the role of the camps in your opinion?
Camps, it is jail. We have so many people who released from the camps, just like Mr. Askar Azatbek. Mr. Kairat Samarkand, Mr. Ormbek Koksebek, and Mr. Amanjan said these people is released from the re-education camps. Now all of these people working in our organization in Almaty city, and these people said the trust of the re-education camps to all over the world. It is not secret. It is one open the secret. And they say the same words. The re-education camp is worse than jail. Every people chained with arms, every people chained with legs, and the Mr. Kairat Samarkand said, if somebody didn't listen with the Communist Party, they were put into the one iron instrument, just like, and putting here in 24 hours. And every kind of punishment, punishes them standing outside with winter, the very cold temperature, and pushes them with cold water wash in the winter outside, and puts them to the one iron box if they not studied with the Communist Party's red songs, and puts them to the iron box and pushes them to in this box for 24 hours or 48 hours outside in winter. And after that, they will get so many bad diseases. So many, I can't express, and you will make interview with Mr. Amanjan Said and Mr. Kairat Samarkand. They will show so many that kind of torture in the re-education camp. It is more worse than jail, because everybody, they don't know how many years they will sit in this re-education camp. No any documents by law. Nobody knows how long the time.
Now, when I count, at least from the persons we talked to, we have already 20 persons, at least, in the camps from the women who are here.
Yeah.
How many people do you know are in the camps from those persons who are part of the NGO?
No, not. They just visited our office.
Okay.
The common visitor. Every day we have that kind of visit. Every day we have different faces.
Okay.
And the people who detained and released from re-education camp, more than 20. But I believe in Kazakhstan, maybe more than hundreds of them now living at Kazakhstan, but just keep silent because they scared from Communist Party. They scared. And every people, when they release from the re-education camp, they signed so many documents, and the Chinese officials say directly to them, if you say something when you're going to Kazakhstan, we will torture all of your relatives, all of your classmates, all of your family members in China.
So what about the others? Aren't they afraid that their relatives are going to be tortured? And so still they talk
But
in front
they are
of
not tortured. They are not scared. They just went to say the just to the foreign media, and they have one wish. Maybe after they say the just about re-education camp, maybe the Western people, European people, maybe the American government give some political pressure to the Chinese government and stop the re-education camp. And this woman's case is different. This woman's case is very different. I knew her.
Okay. In which way, Councillor?